Hi everyone. So I'm Matthew Hassey from Horsefly. I'm one of the global customer success managers, and one of my clients I manage is BT. And joining me today for this testimonial is Luke, who works for BT. Luke, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me. So my name is Luke Griffiths. I'm the TA program manager for BT, and I look after a lot of our core projects and programs, namely internal mobility, technology, diversity and inclusion, anything that falls under those umbrellas, really. So, yeah, that's me, and I look forward to talking to you today, Matt.
Yeah, no, thanks, Luke. And obviously, we've known each other since the very beginning of the journey when you were looking at vendors. I suppose what challenges led you to kind of seek out a new analytics solution is the first question, I guess.
I think market analytics is key for any talent acquisition function. It's not something that we didn't have before Horsefly. We've used market analytics providers for quite a while, but I think the purpose is that we need a robust, real-time view of the external talent market in the hands of our recruiters and TA teams so that they can make informed recommendations and decisions during the recruitment process, on the fly, talking to hiring managers in the middle of a call. They need real good data to make good decisions.
No, good stuff. Good stuff. And what was your kind of goals initially when you kind of selected the vendor of Horsefly? I know you went through quite a big process to look at many of the providers out there, and you chose Horsefly. Yeah. But what was your kind of initial implementation goals, and what kind of success did you want to set up to make this partnership successful from the off, basically?
Those were our goals, really. We came up to a natural point where we needed to look at vendors. It was the end of the contract that we were on previously, and it was natural to do a vendor selection process with the top vendors in the market. So we assessed top 4 or 5 in a few different types of characteristics. So the logistics of using each platform, the content that we'd receive, the commercial fit to us as a business, those sorts of things. And I remember actually Horsefly doing, or you guys doing a 24-hour trial license with us, which was really, really valuable. I always think that when a vendor is open to giving you access to the product before you buy it, that it shows quite a high level of confidence in the product that you're selling. So that was a really good experience for us. It was not a huge tender process, as I'm sure you remember, Matt, but yeah. Horsefly emerged as the leader, as I'm sure everybody could tell by the fact we're having the conversation here today. But two of the things that really stood out to our community were the quality of the content on your product and the experience that the users get. When they're trying to get access to data quick, it's quite easy to be able to go in and do that without getting lost and get access to the bit that you want quite quickly and easily. So that was what we were going for, to be honest, and that's why Horsefly emerged as our leader.
Brilliant. No, good to hear. And I remember that journey as well, obviously getting to know the team. Yeah, getting to know the team during that 24-hour managed access it helps us to kind of set up success from the beginning, because we kind of get to know what type of use cases you've got and your need for the data, and we can actually build that relationship straight out the gate. So no, it's great that obviously you chose us. How are the team utilising the data? What are the kind of key use cases that the team have actioned so far, would you say?
We've spread our licenses globally, and not to one specific role in TA, actually. So our managers have access to it, some of our leaders have access to it, some of our business partners have access to it, our specialists, and some of our sources have access to it, because I think it's quite a diverse tool in the use cases that it has. to be honest. We've had high levels of engagement actually across the majority of our units. The highest engagement that we've had really has been in our digital and corporate unit areas. I think, to be honest, anybody working in TA now knows that there's a big push on internal mobility and mobilizing talent within an organization and this concept of an internal talent marketplace. So, while that's great, we'll always have a certain level of reliance on the external market. And we see that in those two specific areas, more so than anywhere else. So that's where it's providing the best service for us at the minute.
And what measurable improvements have you kind of observed so far within the partnership?
I'll keep coming back to this one, but data-driven hiring decisions in the TA teams and the units is a massive one. That's a huge improvement, I think, for us, and would be for anybody. Increasing your external hiring capability through talent pooling and sourcing, I think it is a massive one. Finding the best talent with a well-enabled sourcing strategy is something that we've seen improvement in, and also the support that it's given us to our diversity and inclusion agenda by enabling us to strategically target places where we know we have a better chance at attracting diverse talent. And partnering that with a location strategy, I suppose, so that we can be targeted in our approach whilst going about our agenda in the right way.
Good to hear. And I remember once I joined the kind of the TAM leadership meeting that you have, where I got an invite, and just as I was about to do my part, Mark was just finishing with his, and I remember him saying about, look, we want our team to be data-led talent acquisition partners, business partners. And it kind of rings true into why we built Horsefly in the first place, is we wanted to give you guys that expert voice and help you to be more data-driven in your approach to recruitment. So it's great that you've got leaders at BT who are kind of pushing that agenda across the business, because that's where data becomes crucial. It's great to hear that. What features are most valuable, would you say? Would it be the gender ethnicity piece, or would it be other aspects?
Yeah, good question. A new one for Horsefly, your AI search builder is very good. Yeah, actually. It's very good. It does what, in my opinion, AI should do, and automate the lengthy manual process type work, whilst leaving a gap for the recruiter in this case, or human in a general case, to overlay their expertise. So for anyone that doesn't know, I'll happily go through it. But you load in that job description, it builds your search for you, all your answers or nots, and then gives you an opportunity to flex that search based on what you need. I think that's really cool. I think you've hit the nail on the head with that one.
I'd agree.
A couple of others, I think that I've heard from feedback that teams use more so than anything else. Competitor analysis. Yeah. Always good for a sourcing strategy. You want to know who else is looking for the talent that you're looking for. And probably an understated one, but career pathways. When we're searching for talent that's, not rife in the market, and we're very, very, specific in our searches, sometimes what you want isn't always there. So to be able to look for where it might be before it's going to get to where you want it, or certainly maybe the individual has made a move afterwards and is considering a movement back into the role they were in previously. So to see your options outside of the unicorn, to use a talent acquisition phrase, that unicorn of a role is really helpful.
Yeah, no, I agree. I always say it's one of my favorites, and the main reason for that is it helps reduce attrition. It helps improve career development, which is a big kind of career opportunity for the people who are working for BT, and it can unearth hidden talent pools as well. With the internal mobility focus that you're going to be going through, and I know that you've got like a learning academy at BT as well, where you help your staff to kind of grow their careers. So having some insights there can really support that strategy as well. And what you mentioned about the AI search builder, I think you were in the meeting when we were on site in Birmingham, and one of the job titles was threat hunting specialist, if you remember.
Yeah, I do remember well, yeah.
Yeah, and that AI search builder took that job title. I think there was about 100 people in the world using that job title. Half of them worked for BT. But when you actually put the job description in, it went from 100 people in the world to a lot more, because it kind of read the skills that you were looking for. And that helped us to get really accurate results for that type of scenario. So no, good to hear that.
Yeah, and that's it. That it's not about the job title, is it? The job title is ambiguous in most cases. It's about the skills that you're looking for. So when we talk about targeted search, I think that's it. Yeah, that's where it adds value for sure.
Yeah, good stuff. What challenges are you facing as an organisation that you're looking to kind of solve with data, I guess?
I'm sure the majority of other organisations are facing the same sorts of challenges that we're facing or are trying to solve for the same thing. So enabling the internal talent marketplace that I talked to a moment ago, talent is not as easily accessible as it has previously been, and finding the right people for the right roles as the landscape of skills changes, quite frankly, at the minute, and is going to continue to do so, is just not easy. So for us, it's about making sure that we have got the right people in the right teams and roles to deliver against our big goals over the next financial year, and those following. And that makes talent acquisition quite imperative to the success of our performance as a business, because if we don't have data that tells us where the talent is, we'll struggle to find it, and we'll struggle to get those people in the right teams to do the right work to allow us to hit our goals. So the Horsefly enabling the data in our talent strategy is going to be key.
And it's, I guess one last point as well is just around the partnership. How would you kind of describe the partnership with Horsefly in terms of the support since day one? And I know obviously I managed the partnership, so I'm not asking you to blow my own trumpet.
I was going to say you're asking for some compliments.
I suppose the reason why I say that is I'm involved in, obviously my role is customer success manager for Horsefly, but I'm also involved in sales engineering, so helping, as you know, Mike bring BT on, for example. And the amount of times I hear from prospects that, the support we've had from other vendors, I won't name any, but sometimes it's like if you don't get through to a human easily enough, you've got to raise a ticket, etc. But how would you kind of how would you describe your partnership with Horsefly and how we've kind of supported you through the journey so far?
Yeah, look, I joke, of course, but I'm happy to give feedback here, and I've been quite open in terms of what we needed from a relationship with a vendor and what you guys needed from a relationship with a customer, right? And I think that was one of the things that I personally valued the most about our business partnership, was the openness of communication. There was no issue with feedback or problems. You guys as a company are very flexible to the needs of us. Every organization is going to have different needs and requirements for a product like this. I don't think it is a one size fits all kind of product. It will do the main stuff, obviously, for the majority of customers, but for certain organizations, there are certain tweaks that are needed and so on and so forth. So yeah, all the praise to you and Matt and the rest of the team. You've been very hands-on and very helpful to help us not only get up and running with Horsefly, but then to optimize it once it's landed as well. It's been a massive thing.
Good stuff. Good to hear. And any final observations, thoughts, or comments that you want to make to people who might want to tune in and listen to me and you having a good chat for 25 minutes or so?
No, look, I think we've covered loads already, to be honest. So I think we've probably said it all. But thank you, Matt. Thanks to Mike as well that supported with the onboarding of Horsefly and the rest of the team. And look forward to the partnership.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for being such a great client. And obviously, I know how thorough you was at the initial process of making sure that the right vendor was selected. So we were delighted to win it. And obviously, during that process, I think relationships were built already. So to continue that relationship is super important for both parties. And we'll make this a super success going forward and trying to align with your business goals as much as we can as well. So thanks for the testimonial. And thank you very much.
No worries. Cheers, Matt.